It is the Huddle with Barry Alvarez across ESPN Madison. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler here at the ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios, and we are joined by Coach Alvarez live from his undisclosed location. Coach, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Derek, how you doing?
We're doing great, Coach. Good to hear your voice.
Doing great, Coach. Beautiful weather out here.
Yeah, you know, I think we may have finally caught up to you.
Awesome.
We may have finally caught up to you in terms of the weather as you're enjoying yourself in Florida.
You're close.
Yeah.
I just checked your weather. You're real close to what we are.
Now, for those of you who have not chimed in a while, this is the Huddle. We've been usually going throughout the football season, but today we get a little special action as we are shortly removed from the NFL draft. I'd love to hear from you guys because I'm surrounded by people who have been around the NFL draft in a way that until this weekend I really haven't been. Tarek, you were drafted twice.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So before we get anywhere,
by the way, higher than Shedeur Sanders.
Yes.
Just for the record.
But not by Cleveland.
No, not by this Carolina Panthers. The second draft was the
expansion draft.
Well, then I was
you
the
first
sixth
player?
pick. I was the sixth pick in the expansion draft.
Yeah, so you were the first player every I don't know, if our listeners know this, but every team had to put up 6 players to go into the expansion draft. After one was picked, they could withdraw one of the 6. I was one of the 6, and I was withdrawn after they picked, I think it was Brandon Sanders, right?
Yes,
Safety.
Brandon Sanders. That's right.
Otherwise, and I only know this because our friend who is the head trainer at the Cleveland Browns, told me I was next in line. So I was almost a teammate with Tarek Saleh at the Cleveland Browns.
Did they take Percy?
Percy Ellsworth, because they withdrew me.
Yeah.
And Percy was 3 in our list. So
you were far too important.
Not that much, apparently.
Coach, so that's what these two experienced during the expansion draft. I'd love to hear for just a moment, like, as somebody who had a long and really respected career as a head coach and as an athletic director, what was it like for you as you sat and watched the draft?
You know, it's always interesting for me. First of all, you care about your players. You're hoping that your players will be selected somewhere where they have an opportunity. And, you have scouts come through and coaches come through all year. They're in the offices evaluating players. So, I'm rooting for our guys to have the opportunity to go play in the NFL. So I really enjoy the chance to watch the draft unfold and see who goes where and what people are trying to load up on or what they think they need. And most of them, I think anymore, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think they try to get the best player available rather than loading up or trying to go for weaknesses on their squad.
I'd agree with that. And I think that's probably 90% of the time. There might be a little bit, but that'd be the smaller part of the time that they look for need. Looking for the best player, I think, is
the
norm.
Especially when you get into the guts of the draft, and the middle rounds to late rounds where guys maybe slipped and fell to where you didn't think they would. And that's really kind of those diamonds in the rough. That's where you can really find some value. I think, as far as the first round, it's kind of you go to where you really have a need at that position because you don't see too many guys. I mean, this was an extraordinary draft with Shedeur, who was picked as the top quarterback or second quarterback
by many,
obviously after Cam Ward.
Yeah.
To fall to the 5th round to your former team.
Browns, man.
Yeah, they
had a great draft.
So let's start there then. I mean, that's what dominated all conversations. It's really interesting that Shedeur Sanders, who was often projected to be a top 5 pick, right? He's somebody who has talent. He's somebody who has all of the clout. Some people are saying that potentially he sandbagged some of his interviews so that he could help direct where he would end up. There's all sorts of rumors around that. I mean,
what's the board game? I figured you'd know. I wanted to ask you this off air. He played some board game.
I love
with
board
GMs.
games.
Yeah, you should know this.
I don't know this.
Oh, yeah.
This is huge for the board game
trading
community.
wheat for bricks and
Catan.
Catan, exactly. He
Settlers
knew
of
it. I
Catan.
told you, Tarek.
It's a great game. It's a great. We call that the
Oh
introductory
yeah, he
board
had
game.
Twitter videos or pictures of him with the game Catan,
and he was playing it with these
with
execs.
GMs. Oh yeah, it was
I think it was a
some-
confluence of issues that this guy had that caused all this to happen. I don't think there was this whole, NFL conspiracy against him. I mean, I believe the NFL, they're going to take a dude. If a dude's a dude and he's going to be a first-round quarterback, they're going to take him, right? He had some interviews that might have been off-putting. He's been through a life he's never had to really compete for a job. And I think when you don't have to compete for a job and you're a little bit off-putting in your interviews, it kind of slips. You slip and slide. And if you're not going to be the starter, they're not going to take a backup potentially in the second or third round. And he went where he went, and it was unfortunate, but fortunate for the Browns. And
Yeah,
he'll get a chance, right, Coach?
I think the media really built him up, obviously, higher than his value by the NFL teams. And they're going to take whoever they have rated highest on the board, regardless of position, unless there's a freak that they feel like they have to take early in the draft. But it's obvious they didn't have him rated that highly, and they had him rated as a mid to lower round selection as a quarterback, and they stuck by that. And I think a lot of times they're blowing up smoke screens about who they're going to take and how they value different people, hoping someone else will take a bad pick.
What Kuiper have him at?
Kuiper had him in the top 5. He was
Kuiper had him
emotional.
high.
He was emotional on
What
day
about
three.
what about Todd, the other guy?
Todd McShay.
Yeah, McShay.
He's probably top 5. And he's top 5 in everybody's deal.
Yeah, but those guys think they really know football. But to Coach's point, the media really pushed it.
I saw Kuiper crawfishing bad. They were beating him up a little bit.
Crawfishing?
On there. He was crawfishing bad.
What is crawfishing, Coach?
What's that?
What's crawfishing mean?
The crawfish going backwards.
Backpedaling.
Coach, when you were athletic director and coach, were there ever players from UW who slid way further than expected in the draft?
They all slid further than I thought. I thought I had them all ranked higher than what they went. I was partial to our players. I thought the way we prepared them, how we practiced, the style of play that we have was conducive, and particularly linemen, defensive players, that they could make an easy adjustment to the NFL, and I think that held true. So, I probably had them my players ranked higher than some of the NFL, and most of the NFL teams had him ranked.
I think with Shedeur, though, I think this will be good for him. Be able to, he's going to go have a little chip on his shoulder. He's going to go compete. He's going to have to, get in there and grind, maybe harder than he's done before. But, I think he'll be successful. And I don't think Deion was a detriment. I think Deion, the guy loves football. He loves his kid. He loves football. I'd love for him to be around our locker room. The guy's a winner.
Yeah.
Well, he
agree,
will
and
definitely. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I think what you said is exactly right, and I think Deion will have him ready, and I'm really anxious to watch him prepare, because I think Cleveland got a steal. I think they got a steal in him.
100%.
I think he'll go on and be a hell of a player. A lot of guys are going to be kicking themselves in the butt, but Deion is a good coach, a good person, and I think the kid is really solid.
That's a loaded quarterback room, right, Tarek? I mean, you got Flacco, you got
Watson, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel.
They won't all be there.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't all going to be there. They're going to let go of the old men.
No.
They're going to keep Shedeur.
They're going to keep Shedeur, or the draft pick they took before him, Dylan Gabriel.
Well, one of the two. That's the beauty of competition.
Trade bait there.
All right.
Little trade bait there.
We saw when Shedeur got drafted, he was celebrating. He ran down and dove into his pool. He was jumping for joy, dancing with his brother. I want to know, before we get to break here, What was it like when you got drafted? What was it like when you got that call, Tarek?
Well, it was the next day after we partied pretty hard.
Come on, you got to tell the truth on this, team. This was back when the first 3 rounds were in one day, right?
Yeah.
On Saturday.
But I had no pressure on me because I
don't know. But you guys threw a party, you and Monty.
Yeah.
Right.
Monty had a chance to go in that first day deal.
When that didn't go down, it went into let's just say we imbibed a lot. Yeah, I mean it was. The
pressure was off though. Then Pete wasn't going, and then the next day, hopefully good things happened, and it did. It all happened. I think Pete went early in the 4th round, and then I went after. I thought I was going in the 5th round. Charlie Weiss called me up, and he's like, "Hey, you want to be a Jet?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And then all of a sudden, next pick, 122, Carolina Panthers, 4th round.
Well, it's one of these things. G-Man so I went up to a charity event for Brooks Bollinger up at the draft, and I took him up, and I'm not going to say names, but former lineman that should have been drafted was not. It was like myself, an undrafted rookie free agent, and when he didn't get drafted because he threw a big party and he was expected to be, there were keg stands going on, you name it, because there's a lot of stress and just things that go on into that day. All your friends and family are there if you're having a party like that, or unless you're like Joe Thomas out fishing, so you get rid of all that. I think it's one of those things where if you don't take it all into perspective, the most important one being that you end up on a squad, whether it be drafted or undrafted. It's all, the rest is all noise. I mean, none of us were first rounders, so there's money different than 4th and 7th round, of course, but in the big scheme of things, there's not a lot.
Also, we had a lot less pressure. Like I remember, 30 years ago it was like, or 25. I don't want to date myself too much here, but it was like the season was ending. We had the pro day the year before we did, but like, I don't know if I'm going to play or not. I'll get into sales. All good.
Yeah, obviously.
And then they're like, no, you could have a chance, and I'm like, this was like September or October. I'm like, I'll worry about that after the year, right? And Coach did a great job reducing all the stress, eliminating the agents, and now you can't eliminate anything. I mean, you're inundated with social media. The agents are already determined before the season.
Coach could tell you, what he did with agents.
And that I'd love to hear, but I think we need to get to break here. We've got a jam-packed show. We've got Jack Nelson, who was just drafted.
All right.
We've got Chris Ballard, the Colts general manager, scheduled to join. We've got a lot to get to here. Yeah, Coach Alvarez pulling some strings for us behind the scenes. And we will get to what Coach did with agents coming up next. This is The Huddle on ESPN Madison.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Oh my gosh, Allie, did you look at Janet's roof? Ugh, it's like so flat. It looks like one of those roofing contractor commercials.
Who even understands those roofing guys anyways?
I like flat roofs and I cannot lie. You other contractors can't deny. TPO way up high. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring.
If you want a roof that's worth staring at, Avondale Roofing is where you go. Your roofing experts for over 30 years. AvondaleRoofing.com.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2 or 4 person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers, Game 5.
Green fires one up from way downtown, and he rattles it through.
Tuesday on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
What I want.
Madison's Huddle with Barry Alvarez rolls on as we have coming up shortly. Jack Nelson's going to join the show. We're hearing about draft day experiences from folks who were potential draft picks, actual draft picks, and of course, Coach Alvarez, who didn't like dealing with agents as a head coach and as athletic director. Coach, before the commercial break, we did ask you, or we teased it a little bit here. But what did you do with agents? What was your interaction with them like?
None. I wouldn't deal with agents. I'll deal with the assistant coaches, the head coach, general manager, anybody within the organization. I'm not going to deal with agents.
And Coach, you had a policy that we weren't going to have. You weren't allowed to. The rules were you're not able to engage an agent until after the season, if I remember.
Right. Yeah, rules were stricter then, much stricter. So you didn't have them hanging around. You had scouts and coaches at practice every day, all from the time you start camp, but not agents.
So can you describe a little bit your relationship with these coaches out there and general managers who are thinking about drafting your players? And I mean, for example, the Steelers have a really strong reputation for drafting Badger players. Is that something that you and the current staff have helped set up a relationship with?
Well, first of all, you have Chris Ballard, one of our former players there. He knows the style of program that we run, how physical a program we run, what we demand of our players, and that's what they want in the Steeler program. They want toughness. They know when they draft a Wisconsin kid, they know what they're going to get. And so that's important for them. You can watch all the film you want. You can go in and watch a practice here or there, a few, little bit of practice throughout the year. But unless you really know the coaches and the style of practice that's year-round, you're not exactly sure what you're going to get. But Chris knew the type of player he's going to get from Wisconsin.
And, Coach, you're absolutely right. And that goes beyond that. It goes into franchises that had drafted, Wisconsin players in the past and know what type of player Pittsburgh Steelers, you mentioned them, obviously.
Right.
The New York Giants. I know, John Mara still talks about what kind of player he gets in a Wisconsin Badger at the New York Giants. And there's other franchises that are like that know how they come out of the University of Wisconsin Badger football program, and they're pro-ready. And I think that's so important for, all the future Badgers. And as long as we continue to do what, we've done in the past and coach them upright, they'll be ready.
And ready they were. This is the 18th straight season where the Wisconsin Badgers have had a draft pick. That's the 7th longest streak in all of college football. But this was also the longest that Wisconsin has had to wait since 1990 to have one of their players called. Now, I'll ask all three of you, as all three of you have a lot of vested interest, what's the importance of having Badgers go to the league outside of just me being a fan and being excited to watch them on Sundays?
I'll defer to Coach on this.
Well, I think the more exposure you get, the more we get our players around the country at different teams, the better it is to sell our program. It helps recruiting. It's good for our fans. It's somebody for them to follow. And it's just healthy for the program. It's healthy for football at the university.
And Coach, right, Tark? I mean, when I'm watching it with my family, with my son, and even my oldest when he was growing up, teams that we had really no interest in, we'd count up how many, and when I say this, on both teams, count up how many Badgers, plural, on each team, and we'd root for who had more.
100%. And, having those guys out there, that tells a story. That narrative gets out there, what kind of program we have. It builds the brand. We're tough, smart, dependable. We're going to be there on, every play. We're going to work hard in the weight room, work hard, in the film room. And that reputation goes throughout the league, and then it permeates into recruiting. And you get guys to come here because they know they're going to be prepared when they go to the NFL.
So one thing a lot of, coaches, you wouldn't ever think of this. The layman wouldn't think of this. Administrators in the NFL, what they want to know, what kind of locker room guy is he? Is he a guy you want in your locker room? Because if you get a bad guy, a guy that doesn't get along with people, someone that's disruptive, they can disrupt your entire team. So those things are all important, and they know what they're going to get with our guys.
All right, and somebody who did get out there, and he's going to the Atlanta Falcons, Jack Nelson, scheduled next. We're going to get to him now, so I will leave you with this. He's going to be pro-ready, and that's something that we know that the Wisconsin Badgers are going to do, and that's thankful in part to the three of you. So we'll have Jack Nelson on the other side. This is the ESPN Madison Huddle.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. National and local awards proving Siding Unlimited will deliver peace of mind. Looking for inspiration to replace your windows, roofing, siding, and doors? Stop by our amazing showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. And definitely check out sidingunlimited.com. We are Siding Unlimited.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
What's up, Wisconsin fans? Enjoying the game should always be easy, so don't overthink it. What to wear? Done. Just toss on your lucky jersey. Don't know what to serve your friends? Easy. Pick up some pizza from your go-to place and grab Bud Light to stock your fridge. See? It's that easy. Just like Bud Light, which is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Tuesday, we'll continue to react to the fallout from the NFL Draft, as well as preview a huge Game 5 in the West. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
With the 218th pick in the NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons selected our next guest, Jack Nelson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Tarek, Derek?
We're doing great. Hey, congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
Always love to
Jack,
see you.
Coach Alvarez here. Congratulations to you. We're proud
Thank
of
you, Coach. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Now, Jack, I got to start here. When you were drafted, you got the call. What was that moment like?
To be honest, I mean, it was just a big relief. Just a stressful day, kind of a stressful last couple of months with the whole draft prep, combine. But to finally get that call and, kind of put the cap on it, it was.
Oh, Jack, you still there?
Yeah.
All right, we might be losing Jack here. We are going to effort that, and we'll give Riley a second behind the glass to figure out how to get Jack back sounding good. But Jack Nelson.
Hello?
Oh, there we are, Jack.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, there you are. We got you back. It sounds like you're in the car. You headed down to Atlanta?
No, not yet. No, not yet. I'm just getting back visiting Chimere from Waukesha, Chimere DK.
Oh yeah,
old teammate. So.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Congrats to him, too.
So do you have any relationships or friendships on the Falcons at this point? Have they reached out to you?
They've reached out to me a little bit, but I mean, I don't know anybody else on there. Got added to a group chat that I can only assume is the O-line, but a lot of numbers I don't recognize. But I'm looking forward to getting down there and meeting those guys.
Fantastic.
You know, Jack, I'm sure with your agent, who I believe is one of our own, and Joe Panos, am I mistaken?
Yep, that's right.
So you guys probably looked at both those tackles, right? Jake Matthews at left, and is it McGrary at right?
Yep.
You know, and McGrary's got, you know, he's going to be a free agent after this year. Jake's getting up there in age, mid-30s or thereabouts. Obviously, they got a steal with you in the 7th round and potentially being a swing.
Yeah. No, I'm real excited. I think it's a great position to be in for myself.
Yeah, I was impressed when I looked at that, and I thought that would be a great opportunity for you. You know, obviously 7th round, sometimes, you know, and I was an undrafted free agent, but I had 7th round calls from you know, different coaches and franchises where I almost enjoyed being able to pick the team I wanted to go to based on depth chart, et cetera, with my agent. But I looked at this and I thought, wow, you know, they really, I mean, this was, they obviously earmarked you and probably felt pretty good about getting you where they did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just, you know, the big thing was I wanted to go somewhere where I'd have a lot of opportunity and, you know, somewhere that I was wanted. And I think I really lucked out and checked both those boxes.
So you feel like this is a good place for you to grow your career?
Absolutely. I mean, there's some great old linemen down there. You know, even though they're getting a little older, you know, at least this year to really pick their brain and learn from some of the best, and then you know, then when the opportunity presents itself, kind of go out there and do my thing. So,
hey, have you talked to the old line coach yet? And who
yet.
Is that? Do you know who that is? I see a couple assistants online. Who's the? Is it
I
Dwayne
can only find
Ledford?
the assistants as well
Yeah.
on the Falcons website.
Yeah, there's not a lot on there. Hey, you don't care. You're just going to show up and grind, right? That's all that matters.
That's right.
That could be good. Could
right.
have a new one.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So who on the team called you? Was it the general manager?
Yep, the general manager, and then I spoke to the owner, and then I talked to the head coach.
Did you talk to any of them before that point in the draft?
Not them in particular. I had a Zoom meeting with them, you know, about a month ago, but it wasn't with, you know, it was with some scouts. So.
And did you have any idea that it was going to be the Falcons at that point, or were there other teams that had really shown some interest?
I mean, you know, prior to the draft, you know, my agent was telling me, you know, okay, these guys, you know, I was talking to them, they really like you, and, you know, based on just how my experiences went with other teams, you know, I thought I had an idea, but the Falcons weren't one of them, so it was kind of a little bit of a surprise.
A fantastic surprise,
probably a
nonetheless.
surprise for them to see you slip down to where you did, you know. So, like I said, steal for the Falcons. And Jack, I know I'm speaking for Tarek and Coach, but your biggest accomplishment, 4-year starter at the Wisconsin Badgers, man, that is awesome. You know, obviously all Big Ten. You know, you have been a staple in what we all feel it's got to be a core and a foundation of that program, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
It really does. I think your experience here, Jack, and all the repetitions that you have had and experiences you've had really will carry over well and help you make that next adjustment into the NFL.
Thank you, Coach. That's the plan.
844-770-3776. This is The Huddle on ESPN Madison with Barry Alvarez. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler, and Jack Nelson, who is the newest member of the Atlanta Falcons and a former Wisconsin Badger. Now, Jack, I've always wondered this, and this is an absolutely ridiculous question, but how do you find an apartment in 2 weeks in a city that, have you ever been to Atlanta before?
Never, ever.
So how are you going to find an apartment?
I mean, I'll be in a hotel. For the time being. So, you know, I don't really know when I'd have to start looking for an apartment, but I know that, you know, I'm going down there early next week for rookie mini camp, and then after that, I'll probably stay there for whatever team activities they got going on. So I'll just be in a hotel.
They'll pay for the hotel all the way, I think, up to training camp, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's a discounted rate if you want to stay at a hotel. Some guys like that. you got breakfast in the morning, right? You
Low
got,
overhead.
Yeah, house cleaning.
Yeah, Atlanta's not too expensive. Not like New York City. You'd be able to get a good place.
It's traffic though. You got to keep it close.
Yeah. Keep it close to the facility. Live in the facility, man.
Jack, as you've got
not as bad as Tolzien. Oh yeah, he had a place in the facility.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds like a plan though. That's it.
Tarek, Derek, as you guys are talking to, who is starting off their professional career, do you have any bits of advice as he starts this off?
I'd say embrace the grind, because right now you're going to come up on rookie camp, and then you're going to go OTAs, and then you got I'm telling you, the biggest, most important time to prepare is that time leading up to training camp. Because a lot of times early on, my first year, I kind of took it easy those 3 weeks up to the camp, and I learned my lesson, and then from there on out, I grinded. You could take a little week of low dose working out, but you got to be ready once training camp starts. It's a war, it's a battle, but you're built for that, and I know you're going to crush it because of who you are.
Yeah, Jack.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, just get in the hip pocket. First of all, find the vets that are respected, that are knowledgeable, and get in their hip pockets.
Yeah, stand your ground. You don't. I said keep your mouth shut, but low profile. Speak when spoken to, and don't let anybody get over on you. Nobody. You hear me? You bow up. You bow up when you need to, only when you need to.
You just don't get in a fight and then miss the right hook and almost hit your head coach, a la Tarek Salah
stay to the body.
and Butch Davis.
Go to the body. Don't go to the head. Go to the body all the time. But don't go fighting all the time. Just go to work.
Yep.
All right, Jack, one last question for you, and we'll let you get out of here. What
That's awesome.
What did the University of Wisconsin mean to you while you were here, and what do you think you're going to bring from here to the NFL?
I mean, it means everything to me. That football program, that city, the state. I mean, to be a legacy, to go there and meet all the guys and have my little brother there with me. I mean, those are the best years of my life. I hold them very dear. But I really want to bring that being said, it wasn't always easy there. With the coaching changes, new O-line coach, some of the adversity we faced. But I want to bring my toughness and my experience, with the Wisconsin Badgers to the next level and really show that off.
All right, well, thanks so much, and one more time from all of us here at ESPN Madison, congratulations on being a new part of the NFL.
Thank you so much, guys.
Good luck, Jack. Go get him, buddy.
Go get him. Thank you.
All right, that was Jack Nelson, the newest Atlanta Falcon, as a 7th-round pick and another part of an illustrious group of Wisconsin Badgers to be drafted in the NFL draft. We'll have more coming up next. This is the ESPN Madison Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community and also the Army National Guard.
Soldiers train to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
The sound of summer is on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN. Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
If you missed any of Jack Nelson, the newest Atlanta Falcon from the Wisconsin Badgers, you can go back and listen to that anywhere you get your podcasts, the Wisconsin, ESPN Wisconsin app, or I'm sure you'll find it repurposed on social media. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Tarek Salek, Derek Engler, and of course, Coach Barry Alvarez. This is The Huddle with Barry Alvarez. And Coach, it's just exciting to hear more and more guys from Wisconsin go to the NFL. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, the guys that go, the thing that I'm so proud of is they represent us so well. Really proud of how our players have played, how they play. I hear so much when I'm in different communities and traveling, the positive things said about our players, not only as players, but their value in the communities.
Coach, I got to ask you, I don't know, you might have told Tarek and I this story, but what was your experience or what was Jake's experience if you weren't there that you can recall, you know, when he was going through the draft? I'm talking, of course, about your grandson, Jake Ferguson, tight end,
right?
Pro Bowler,
I'm trying to
Dallas
think.
Cowboys.
Yeah. I can remember us all sitting here going crazy because we went I can't remember whether we waited a day. He didn't go to the fourth round. I think they might have had 3 rounds the first day. And everybody was climbing the walls. And but you know, once he got there, I think as I understand it, you know, and I haven't heard anything different, he had a really easy transition. You know, I went down to one of his camps early on. I happened to know Schottenheimer. I knew his father, his grandfather, his father. I knew his family. And, man, he saw me, came over and raved about Jake, and so did Jerry Jones. And so he made a really easy adjustment there. And just, first of all, he likes football. So he's having fun while he's there. But it's been a great experience for him.
Yeah, and he's really athletic. So I think that made it a lot easier for him.
Yeah,
probably
you have those two things. You love to play the game, and you're athletic.
Toughness.
I mean, at least we'd love to play the game, Tarek.
Yeah, that's what we got. We love to play the game, but we're not athletic. Can't spell cat, but it's all
speak
good.
for yourself.
You could point You could always point a cat out.
I know a cat from a dog.
Well, and that's the thing. That did you guys hear about this? The wide receiver out of Arizona who didn't like football. When asked, he was like, they asked him outright, do you like football? And he said, nope.
Well, I bet he didn't get drafted.
No, he was the 8th overall draft pick, Teteroa McMillan. He was. A lot of people wanted him to be a Green Bay Packer. He's obvious. He must like football. He's very good at it, but he doesn't watch film. And when asked, he said he doesn't like football.
Who drafted him?
Who did draft him? Riley, you got that?
That's
the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers.
Oh, there
right.
you go,
No,
Tarek.
yep.
That explains everything.
They have a notorious
You think the Steelers are drafting that guy? You think the New England Patriots are drafting that guy? Nope.
No, only the loser franchises I was a part of. That's what we bring in those guys.
Do you like football? Nope. Hey, let's draft him. Top 10.
Okay, see ya.
Coach,
Carolina's a basketball state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coach, if you had a guy answer that question that way, what are you doing? Like, is he playing? Is he part of the program? What's happening?
Well, if I was recruiting him, I would not be recruiting him any longer. And if he was one of my players, I wouldn't ask him that because I would know if he didn't like football if he was one of my players, and he probably wouldn't play much. I would imagine if you don't like it, it's hard to put in the effort and the time that we ask.
I mean, right? Your athletic ability can really only take you so far. I mean, it can take you so far in college if you're really that talented. But this is grown.
Yeah,
men.
I mean, that's a job. These guys, these two have gone through it. It's a job, man.
Yeah.
You get up and work.
Ain't gonna last too long.
24/7.
I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And you just look at what they built there. And Sirianni is just like curmudgeon, crazy guy. That's what I picture him, just being a badass, if I can say that. But the guys that are on that team, they will freaking die for each other, and they love the game. They fight their butts off, and they're all really athletic. I mean, the recipe hasn't changed. And what you see with what the gold standard is, those guys love football. They play hard. They're physical. They stop the run. They run the ball.
They do it at Kansas City. Look what they've done.
They do it in Detroit too.
Yeah.
And Detroit continues to do that, and they get those guys.
So like Tarek said, and Coach knows this because this is what we were coached all the way 30 years ago, going through college, and what prepared me, as an undrafted free agent, going out to New York. I mean, and being thrown in literally as baptism by fire and thrown in the trenches. I was prepared from a mental toughness standpoint. There was no question.
Do you think the Green Bay Packers are doing that? Do you think they're drafting for that?
I think that's the goal.
That's hard to ask.
They're working towards it.
That's a tough question, G-Man. I mean, you can go a lot of different directions with that.
Yeah, that's fair, but we're here to ask the hard questions.
And speculate, obviously.
And speculate a little bit. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Green Bay Packers and how they continue to draft Georgia guys coming up next. This is the ESPN Madison Huddle.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it. There's more than one draft?
No. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a Good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Former Wisconsin Badgers are joining the NFL, and two former Badger plus other teams in Chimray DK going to the Titans and Graham Mertz going to the Texans. But Jack Nelson, who was on the show just a few moments ago, if you missed any of that, you can go back and listen on ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Can I throw a curveball in here?
Do it.
Solid. Did you ever think that Graham Mertz in this class would be the highest, whether it be former or current Badger draft pick?
Chimray DK was.
Oh, he was.
Chimray DK was the very first pick in the fourth round going to the Titans.
But so did Mertz went in the fourth round, right?
Mertz was a sixth round pick, 197.
Okay, I got the two flipped.
Where did he go?
He went to the Texans.
Okay. Excellent.
But did you ever think that he was going to be a draft pick when he was here at Wisconsin?
No, I didn't. I didn't think he'd play at Florida. Was it Florida where he played?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to watch him play.
On script, he's okay. Off script, he's not. Struggles with that. So maybe he's grown.
Now,
We'll see.
DK's another story. I remember watching
DK
a game
run.
with Coach Alvarez and his suite at Camp Randall, and his wife, Cindy Alvarez, was and this is when he was young. Like that was her favorite player for sure, because he's a star. He's going to be a player. He'll have a good career. He stays healthy.
Coach, can you attest? Is that true?
That is a fact.
Cindy's favorite player?
I'm not going to go that far. There's a tight end she liked.
Not favorite
There was
player.
a tight end she really liked.
Yeah, that's right. Favorite receiver, other than tight end.
Mertz, I think obviously he's probably grown a lot. Playing in Florida, being able to do those different things. I think it was unfair to put him in that position right away. I think it was tough on everybody. It was tough on the kid that went to Notre Dame. So each guy had to take their path.
You think about Graham Mertz. You think about the experiences. I mean, he's been playing forever. He's experienced about everything. He's about, I don't know, Derek. I don't know if there's any years left to play if he wanted.
What was his 7th year?
Something like that.
You got medical, you got the COVID year. So it had to have been 6 or 7 for sure.
That's awesome. And then you need to grow from that, because I think when he came here, he had 3 different or 2 different high schools that he went through.
Yeah.
Then he came here and he was anointed the starter. So he didn't. I don't think he ever had a compete start. So I think when he went to Florida, you get to learn, you get to compete. Hopefully he won the job down there, and that's important. And he probably grew a lot, and now he's probably ready to go. Hopefully.
All right, well, let's talk about someone who actually was a lifelong Badger, Hunter Wohler, who went in the 7th round, just a couple picks after Jack Nelson. He's going to the Colts, and I want to hear, he got drafted.
Okay, so we talk about locker room guys. Coach mentioned that in the previous segment. That's the locker room guy you want. That is the locker room guy you want. We just talked about Graham Mertz. When he was here, there was a lot of scuttlebutt, about whether or not he was truly a leader on that team. Hunter Wohler is exactly what you want as a Wisconsin Badger entering the NFL. And, of course, our GM and Chris Ballard, former Badger, who takes care of Badgers, saw him at the 7th round and picked him. And it's awesome that we're going to have him on, too, by the way. That is very cool. And, I don't know, Coach, how much you watch Hunter this year, but that's one of our old Badger safeties right there.
Yeah, he is. I really like to watch him play. I was really happy. And I'm happy that Chris – he's going to have a chance to play for the Colts and our old friend Chris Ballard.
Yeah. And he's getting drafted as a linebacker here, which is interesting. He plays downhill. He's one of those Punisher safeties that we've had here at UW. But what does it mean that a guy is going to go into the NFL with that kind of versatility, being drafted as something that he didn't even play?
Well, I can tell you this. There's a lot of different packages that you play, and you got a guy like that. And I don't know if he's going to be the first guy and what he can do, but 1st and 10 run stuffer. But he's going to be able to play in a lot of different packages, a lot of blitz packages, whether blitzing up the middle on the edge, then playing that tight end in the slot. He's perfect. He can cover a lot of guys and do a lot of different things. So he's positioned well to be successful in whatever's linebacker. It's kind of semantics. Linebackers, that bigger safety, he's going to fit that role really well for them.
And Coach, he is that kind of locker room guy. He's somebody who's excited. I mean, he's been living right in Luke Fickell's pocket the whole time. What does it mean to have a guy like that who's a standout?
Well, everyone wants to be a leader, but when the best, one of the better players on the team is the voice in the locker room, obviously he's going to be more effective than somebody that's just going to spout off and be the voice. I mean, you can have a lot of voices. All the voices aren't good. You have a voice in the locker room all the time, but not necessarily the right voice.
Yeah, and then he backed it up on the field, practice.
Yeah.
And of course on game day.
So obviously
that's where it really if you're going to be a true leader, you back it up, and he did.
So obviously you have Tarek and Derek, who are great leaders and the voices you wanted in the locker room. But, Coach, were there any other voices who maybe rose up and weren't the right voice? Or do either of you guys remember having a guy like that?
Well, sure. I'm not going to name him tonight, man.
Throw one of us.
We're not naming.
Hold on, Tark's pulling out his list.
Yeah. How much time do you have?
Derek Angler.
And my former unit in the offensive line, you don't want a lot of big talkers. I mean, we like to let sleeping dogs lie, with those tons of fun and those, werewolves on the other side of the ball, that we got to line up against. That's not what we're about. But in the locker room, you truly see the leadership. They say the right things. They know when to motivate guys, whether it's individually or as a team. You can see that Hunter Wohler is that. I just, you see how he plays on the field, but he also takes guys aside. He'll take them under his wing. He'll talk to the team. He'll do it all, and that's what you want in the locker room.
No doubt. And
Go
ahead, Coach.
I was just going to say, we talk about this, but I think there may be issues with a lot of teams where the voice in the locker room is not the right voice. It's someone that's always grumbling, somebody that's complaining, someone that always has an issue, regardless of whether it's equipment, whether it's a practice time, whether it's the length of practice, whether it's the type of how much hitting you're doing in practice, or you can have a guy like that can really disrupt a team. So when we say the voice in the locker room, there are potentially a lot of different voices, and to have a positive voice in the locker room is so important.
So, first of all, it starts with your actions, right? What you do speaks really loud, and that's number one. And then you get these guys that are sniveling, and they become, I don't know, almost like locker room lawyers. I don't know. We have in the NFL, you got a couple of those guys who think they have all the answers to everything. But if you have people sniveling, complaining, and being negative, that brings down the room, right? So you want to eliminate those guys, and it's more about what you do and then how you use your words. When the motivators, those are hard. I mean, if you're going to give a speech, it's hard to give a speech. It's more about how you communicate with your teammates, how you encourage them, how you lead, how you go out through the drills every day, and the adversity is there, and everybody knows when it's hot and it's ugly out there. Who's sticking around? Who's going through it? And who's helping each other? That way, and then you build that credibility up, and then when it's time to speak, it gives you a great platform.
So we're talking about Hunter Wohler, who's a great locker room fit, obviously, here on the ESPN Madison Huddle with Barry Alvarez. And there are 5 other guys outside of Jack Nelson and Hunter Wohler who are going to the league. Joe Huber's going to the Vikings. R.J. Delancey going to the Giants. Bryson Green to the Cardinals. Jaheim Thomas to the Panthers. And John Pius to the Browns. Now, out of those 5 names, are there any standouts to you?
Well, you watched, is it Pius or is it?
Well, I think he's got a lot of length. I think he's done some good things. I think it was, obviously it was a tough year on the defensive side, but I think he's got some ability that, you definitely see why a team would take him, and be interesting to see how he does, because he has the ability.
Well, embracing Green too.
I think you're right, Tark. Those teams right now, they're looking at potential. Obviously, he wasn't a full, a big name player or anything like that. No, wasn't all league or anything, but potentially, they're looking for guys now that can really make a huge jump as they mature in the next few years.
Coach, and the other thing, and Tarek, you too. I mean, the scouts and GMs are looking at. Are they looking also at schemes, like especially in this transfer portal? We got 40% turnover of teams, and they're looking at athletes, and they're looking at what kind of scheme they're in, and maybe that didn't match up well. To your point, Coach, where they're looking at, okay, what can we develop? He's an athlete. He's got this skill set. What can we develop him into? Because unfortunately, in college football, I feel the developmental stage is really it's hurting right now.
I would say they look at more physical potential. The length of their arms, how, their body structure. How big and strong can they get? Can they get faster? How much improvement can they make? rather than how they're playing. Obviously, they're not going to step in and play right away, but I think potential physically is the thing that they're looking for.
And I think that's
Bryson Green, right?
On the lower part of the draft,
Green,
free agent.
physically,
yeah,
wide
Right.
receiver. But his injuries really hampered him, and that there's no question. But if he could stay healthy, he could get on a roster.
100%, and he's got a shot to do it in Arizona. Now, we are speculating what NFL GMs are looking for, but we're going to hear from one next, as Chris Ballard, the Colts general manager and good friend of the show, is scheduled to appear. We'll have Chris Ballard on next. This is the ESPN Madison Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Mark Osiki's Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament coming up Saturday, May 17th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. It's a great time, great people, all for a great cause. There's lunch, dinner, raffles, and auctions, all to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. Plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat from Don's Marine. Join us on the water May 17th. Donate or partner with us. Learn more and register at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good-looking woman with her arms around me. Live in a small town where it feels like home. I got everything I need.
The ESPN Madison Huddle with Barry Alvarez rolls on 100.5 ESPN with our first ever general manager. Chris Ballard joins us from the Indianapolis Colts. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing fantastic, and I've heard from behind the scenes, right? Tarek and Derek are here just telling me again and again how special of a relationship you have with coaches. And so, Coach Chris, I'd love to open it up to you two and hear a little bit more about how you guys met and how you've maintained a relationship through the years.
Well, I will tell you this. I inherited it and then had to adopt it.
Tell me more about that, Coach.
Well, he probably should have ran my ass out of there. I wasn't very good. I was hurt.
Is that accurate, Chris?
That is very accurate. That is that is an accurate description of the relationship. I was coming off an ACL, and I had a couple ACLs when I was there, and I wasn't always the most well behaved, but for some reason he kept me around, and I've always been very grateful.
Well, that's because you're running with Kaz and Scrap and Wilson. All three. For sure.
Well, Chris, I'm glad to hear that he didn't run you all the way out of town. It sounds like you did have a good time while you were at UW, and Coach was a good mentor to you in some ways. Isn't that right?
Look, I owe a lot to – I just look back on it and think a lot about how fortunate I was. Look, like college football, football ends for everybody at some point, whether you're in high school, college, NFL, and there's a void. And for them to allow me to stay and be a part of it really influenced, what I became in life, in the long run. And it's one of the things that, looking at, the landscape right now of college athletics, one of the things that really worries me is that, kids they bail out when it gets a little hard, and they're not being able, resilience doesn't always feel really good. And the only way you get resilience is going through some hard things. And that doesn't always mean you're going to be the best. It doesn't always mean you're going to finish first. But if you just endure and work and keep, your mind on the prize of what you're trying to accomplish. I tell my son this all the time, who's in college and plays. And look, I want him to do great, but I always tell him, look, I want you to be a responsible 35-year-old adult to society. And I think that's a lot of what college athletics teaches, how to be young men. And so I've always been very grateful to Coach and the staff. I've remained close relationships with them. I ended up getting into coaching a lot of, because of it. I never bothered or badgered Coach a lot for help with the job. I just kind of worked, and when I needed advice, I would reach out, and I was always very appreciative of it.
That's fantastic, and I'm glad to hear that you've been able to lean on him gently, we'll say. But you mentioned that these kids coming through college, they've got a lot going on. They've got a lot on their plate. They sometimes come, they sometimes go. You are getting Hunter Wohler, and you have drafted him as a linebacker. I'm curious to start. I want to start here. Did you tell him he was going to be a linebacker, or did he find out like the rest of us on TV that he was drafted to be a linebacker?
Well, look, we're going to play him at safety. He'll play some dime linebacker. They asked me where's he going to play, and I said right down linebacker. But really, he'll play strong safety and be a dime for us. We had a kid when I was with the Chiefs just like him by the name of Daniel Sorensen. And Daniel was at BYU, same size, same speed, reminded me a lot of Hunter. And I think Hunter's going to go on and have a long career, in this league.
That's fantastic. And the versatility that he offers, it feels like, is something that the league has been trending towards. And I know as I look at my Packers, they're drafting guys who are versatile left and right. Is that something that you see coming from him and his athletic profile?
Look, the more you can do, the more jobs you can do, the better chance you get to making the team. So, I think Hunter's going to I just remember going through this process with Daniel in Kansas City where it just took him. He was a core team, 4-team special team player, ended up developing into a really good, strong safety, and then eventually playing in the dime. And I could see kind of the same career path for Hunter.
Chris, sorry about that. When you talk about grinders and guys that take on adversity, old school stuff, when you're looking at Badger football players, do you recognize that? Do we have a reputation of being grinders as we discussed here earlier?
Well, of course. That's what the program was built on. That's
I just
the
want to make sure you feel that way. No doubt.
And no, there's no doubt. That's the foundation of it. Playing in this league, there's we don't have a transfer portal, so that's out. That doesn't happen. Your transfer portal is we're going to cut you, and so you've got to be able to endure some hard things and some struggles, and look, every case is different. I get that, but when a player transfers because he doesn't want to compete or he doesn't want to have to work to earn it, that's a bothersome thing. That's a character flaw in my mind. And that's going to show up. At some point, it's going to show up.
Chris, I got to ask you about one of my, former Badgers offensive linemen, your starting center in Tanner Bortolini. And Tarek and I got to hang out with him, get to know who he was as a person. But I remember just being like, God, if I only had that athletic ability and that side. The guy reminds me a lot of Bakhtiari, who was also drafted in the 4th round, but he's obviously been a tremendous success for you. Comment on him and how he's progressing.
Yeah, no, doing really well. Look, I remember last year during the draft, watching him work, we liked him on tape, but then you watched him work out, and I was like, holy cow, man, this kid is really talented. Yeah. So we get him in, and you never know. I think offensive line is one of the hardest positions to make the transition. One, because it's so physical in our league. And so now fundamentals and technique come into play. But to watch him work, and then he has his first start against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which they are excellent up front. And we score it was awesome. I don't know if y'all saw it. We score on the first drive, and Tanner is sprinting as fast as he can. And just the joy, the joy of playing the game. Man, that's what you'll want out of a player. Yeah. And so, we had a really good center in Ryan Kelly that, has been here for a long time, 9 years, been a Pro Bowl player, but we felt comfortable with Tanner, here moving forward. It's going to be fun to watch him grow and compete this offseason and in the fall camp.
This is the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez. I'm Alex Gravatt alongside Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler, and Chris Ballard, the Colts general manager, joins the show after drafting Hunter Wohler in the 7th round this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm on radio.
And I'm curious, how was that call? Because the Colts social media team did a really good job of getting people out, but you mentioned Tanner's relationship with a former coach. Is that something that you two had talked about beforehand?
Well, look, Hunter's agent I know really well, and one of our scouts had called and said, "Hey, if he goes undrafted, love to get him in Indy." And he just said, "Well, I think he's probably going to end up in Denver. Let's see how it works out, but he's probably going to end up in Denver." And I I got to watch my language. But I said, no, we'll just draft him. I said, screw that. I said, I'm not losing him. I said, we'll just draft him.
That's great.
I love to hear it. And so you continue to have a pretty good relationship with the University of Wisconsin-Madison, obviously, your alma mater. As there have been a handful of times where you've gotten the chance to draft players from here. I know you also drafted Alec Pierce, who was one of Fickell's guys in Cincinnati. How's your relationship with Luke Fickell?
It's great. Luke's a good coach, man. And I think people, look, we are in an instant. We want success right now. Nobody wants to build anything anymore. I can tell you this, going into Cincinnati and then knowing Luke at Ohio State, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a football team, and he will get it going in the right direction. I told him, like, that team in Cincinnati had, I think they had 9 guys drafted. Alec Pierce, like nobody else, I can't think there's maybe one other team that recruited Alec Pierce. Sauce Gardner. These kids were 3-star, 2-star recruits that ended up being great NFL players. I think that's one of the misnomers is that you think if they don't have 4 or 5 stars next to their name that they're not good football players, and that's BS. Like, good football play, that, like, eventually got to prove it. And so I thought he did an unbelievable job at Cincinnati. They were disciplined, they were tough, and they were edgy hungry. And it's going to be fun to watch, the transition, especially with the new offensive coordinator and what they do. But look, I believe in Luke. I think he's an outstanding coach, and he is exactly what the university needs, and he will have big success.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Tark, you getting fired up?
I'm
Taping
fired
those
up.
ankles?
I'm
Let's
ready
go.
to go, man. I'm ready. He's done some great things. Our defense is going to have a whole facelift. We're ready to rock, man.
Yeah, Coach Grimes, I love his mentality and what we're going to do, offensively. We're getting back to
we got this.
To our
We got a
roots.
left tackle now from Central Michigan, just transferred in.
I saw that.
We gave him free Colt tickets for life.
Attaboy. Well, get them from Tanner. Tanner can afford them.
That's right.
More like, get them from Jonathan Taylor. He can really afford them.
Oh,
there we go.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about our guy JT up there. How's he living?
Well, he looked pretty good on TV this weekend. I hadn't seen him yet, but he looked good on TV announcing our picks.
Absolutely. No, and Jonathan Taylor is another one of those guys who really fits the Wisconsin mold, and it's excited to see that you have that relationship with the Badgers. Obviously, that's a huge perk for the University of Wisconsin, but it's also great in terms of results for you and your organization and the Colts. But as we look at it, I also overheard part of what you were talking about earlier with your relationship with Coach Alvarez, who's here with us. It sounds like the two of you have been able to kind of lean on each other and rely on each other throughout your professional lives. How do you build, as a general manager, relationships with, I'd love for it to be the Wisconsin Badgers, but all of these college programs so that if you don't use a top 30 visit, you know what to expect from a player when they're coming in?
Well, look, I gained a lot more from him than I know he gained from me. So let's make sure we've got this accurate. And then, I was on the road for 12 years as a scout. And the one thing I understood is relationships, how important they were, trust, not like going into a program and people trusting that whatever information they gave you, it was your information. We can't get out of our own way as a league right now. Which nothing pisses me off worse than anonymous sources, people that talk about, some of these kids, and we forget that they are kids. I know we think they're men yet, but they're not. They're still young kids, and they make mistakes, and we leak information. So, I do feel, and then my coach, because I did coach for 7 years, so that gives me a little bit of it always gave me an edge when I was on the road because I kind of talked their language and I already had a relationship with a lot of them. But the relationship part of this and being able to get people to tell you the truth, they know. They do. They know what you're buying. And so it's whether or not they want to tell you or not.
All right, Chris, and I guess if we're talking about the conversations around these kids and what's going on with them and specifically around the draft, without making a big deal out of it, I guess. What do you make of this Shedeur Sanders drop? I mean, he was somebody who was projected to be so high and ended up falling all the way down to the Browns, way down in the 5th or 6th round. Like, it was a shock on day 3 when he finally went. What did you make of that?
I mean, anytime, like in our league, like the draft's fickle. You have no idea. Like, the outside world absolutely writes and prints and says whatever, they say on the draft, but you really don't know internally what people are actually thinking. I mean, why does Tom Brady fall to the 6th round? I mean, I can't answer those questions. I mean, it just happens. And then now today with the exposure and the media spotlight that's on the draft, these type of situations just get completely blown up. So, look, Shedeur's a good player. He's going to have a really good career. Why he fell, I don't know. I mean, this league, I'm telling you, it's crazy. You never know. Why did Jonathan Taylor not go in the top 10 picks of the draft? I'm still mind-boggled by that one. I mean, nobody was bitching about that.
Did you ever think to yourself you might need to pull the trigger on Shedeur?
We had talked about it, but we were going to wait till late and take a quarterback in either the 6th or 7th. We had some other needs and players that we needed to fill. But look, he's going to be a good pro. He's going to be a good player in our league. Like, it doesn't, like, I know the world outside makes it, and look, it does matter financially a little bit, but at the end of the day, whether you're the first pick of the draft or whether you're an undrafted free agent, it's what I love about the NFL. You've got to prove it. We don't really care. Like, I really don't care. I'll tell all our rookies when they get here in 2 weeks for rookie minicamp, like, okay, the excitement's over. We're happy to have you. Now you have to prove it between the lines. And if you don't, you will not be here. It's not real. We live in a very black and white world. Here are the things we're going to ask you to do, and you've got to perform. And there's a short leash on that. And so that's why you'll see guys come from undrafted free agents and become really great players, because it's a league where, like, you've got to perform. And so anytime a guy performs well, we don't care where they come from.
Chris, I grew up not liking quarterbacks, obviously trying to chase them down. But tell us about evaluating a quarterback position. It seems really hard to do, one of the hardest positions ever. And as the GM, how do you even start? And, I hear that a guy has all the intangibles, but then the ball snaps, he just doesn't have the ability. How do you evaluate that position?
It is very difficult. It is very difficult now, and since Andrew retired, it's been our greatest struggle here, and it is because it's such the spot, like it's like anything, it's like the head coach and the quarterback. They're going to get all the credit when you win, and they're going to get all the blame when you lose. And, knowing until you live with somebody, you really don't know who they are and how they're going to handle the pressure of what that position entails. And so guys that we have a young, talented guy that we really like, but he is young and talented, and he's got to go through the steps of failing and then being able to overcome that. And so, like, you want to see in a quarterback's background a guy that's really had to grind at it, guy that's had to really work and endure some struggles along the way and then had success. Like, the one thing with the quarterback position now in college, they all bolt. Like, the second of adversity, this is not 100% the case, but they leave instead of staying and developing and working through it. Like, failure's not a bad thing. And I don't necessarily blame the kids. Parents, the kids haven't changed today. It's the parents have changed. And they don't want to let their kids struggle, which if I can give any advice, it's like the best, let them struggle. Like, I always tell our children, like, I'm not going to save you. I will guide and help, but I'm not going to save you. You have to figure out the problem, and so when you start to struggle, don't expect mom and dad to save you. I'm not going to let you drown, but you're going to have to figure the problem out yourself. And today's age, every parent wants their kid to be number one in the rankings, on the best Little League team, on the best AAU team, instead of, hey, let's just go play sports, have fun, get better, compete our ass off, and get better along the way. Those kids are usually the ones in the long run that end up being good players. And case in point is Tyler Warren. Like, I'm almost amazed that people don't talk about this more, but here's a tight end that is really talented. It stayed at Penn State his whole career and really didn't blow up until his last year. But he endured, he got better, he kept working, he never bitched. I mean, and then when I met his father, when his father came the other day, we flew him in, after picking him, and I met his mom and dad. I'm like, okay, I get it. That's why this kid is going to be successful. So the quarterback thing's a complicated one, guys. It's a hard look. If I had a magic formula, if anybody did, we'd all make a lot more money.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. Do you have anything else for us in terms of Wisconsin Badgers football or your relationship with Barry?
Well, he knows I love him, and I'm appreciative of him, grateful for him, man. He could have easily tossed me to the side, and I've always been very grateful. Very grateful. He tried to bring me back as a GA, and I was too dumb to take it because I was stubborn. I was too stubborn.
If I read the Wikipedia page right, you went on to be a history teacher for a while?
It was a very short while before I went to Kingsville and coached. And then at Kingsville, I got spoiled because we had so many NFL players. I thought that was normal. And, when you've got a secondary full of guys that are playing in the league, Al Harris, who just got put into the Green Bay Hall of Fame, is what. I mean, we had a bunch of NFL players come out of there. I was very fortunate during that time to really. I would probably tell you that experience led me to doing what I am doing today was invaluable because it was Division II football, and we never lowered Coach Harms, who was the head coach there, never lowered his standard on what he wanted to recruit. He wanted NFL-type players. Now, they weren't always the cleanest, which I was good with that. I could handle those. Like, I could relate and handle and connect with about any kid anyways because I was real and honest with them. And so that experience was extremely valuable for me.
That's fantastic, and it's led you to a great place as the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, who are set to have a pretty good season in my mind. So we're grateful to have you and your time tonight. Thanks so much.
Hey, Chris, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Badger love,
thank
man.
you, Chris.
Badger love.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
Great to see
appreciate
you.
y'all having me on. Yeah, appreciate it. You too. Y'all be good.
You
Go
too.
Colts.
All right.
You'll catch me saying that another time. All right, that was Chris Ballard, the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, who just drafted Hunter Wohler out of Wisconsin in the 7th round. We're going to wrap up the show coming up shortly here. This is the
How gracious is that guy?
That's
and by
so
the way,
nice.
All the stuff he was saying, a lot of it, get an edge. You ever hear that one before from our former coach?
Our guy.
You could tell that he was coached by Coach Alvarez, and he said it himself.
Coach always talked about coaching. You could say it, adversity, overcoming adversity. That pendulum swings in the game. In life, all these things come at you. You got to hang in there, keep fighting, competing. Coach, is that? I mean, he's talking your language.
It all comes back, regardless of whatever business or whether you're talking football or anything else. It all comes back.
It all comes back, and we'll come back in a moment. It is The Huddle on ESPN Madison.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honeys. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honeys to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honeys experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honeys.
At Metro Ford of Madison, you pay what employees pay. Customers pay employee pricing on all in-stock new Ford vehicles. This month, drive away in the 2025 Ford Explorer with financing as low as 5.9% for 72 months. $16.53 cost per thousand borrowed. Or get the 2024 Ford Mach-E with financing as low as 0.9% for 72 months. $14.27 cost per thousand borrowed. Hurry! These offers end April 30th. Head to Metro Ford of Madison or visit metrofordofmadison.com today.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Spring Vintage Weekend with the SVRA is up next on May 16th through the 18th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Thanks to VA, I have a place to call home with the VA Home Loan, an education with a GI Bill, the highest quality, most affordable healthcare, and the financial support I need to manage the disabilities that I have from my service. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Mark Osiki's Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament coming up Saturday, May 17th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. It's a great time, great people, all for a great cause. There's lunch, dinner, raffles, and auctions, all to support the American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. Plus a chance to win an Alumacraft fishing boat from Don's Marine. Join us on the water May 17th. Donate or partner with us. Learn more and register at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Bit of unrelated breaking news today. Shaquille O'Neal becomes the Sacramento State General Manager, according to Shams Shamara. This is the Huddle on ESPN Madison with Barry Alvarez. I'm Alex Pratt alongside Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler. You guys like Shaq?
Well, I don't, because he's not going to be on TNT anymore. I listen in for him and Barkley going at each other.
Coach Alvarez, you seem like a big Shaquille O'Neal guy.
I like Shaq.
Yeah.
I don't know if are you hearing me?
I hear you loud and clear. I agree completely. Okay. Shaquille's great. I mean,
know what? I've run into Shaq several times throughout my career, and I happen to like Shaq. Big personality. You want him on your team.
When did you run into Shaq?
And a lot of different things, whether it be basketball, I think some bowl games, different bowl functions, different functions, particularly out west, out in Phoenix, like the Fiesta Frolic and different things like that.
Maybe the Champions Tour here in Madison, the AmFam Champions Tour for golf. He was.
No,
did he come back here for that?
I don't remember that. I don't remember running into him there, but I've run into him.
All right, and you guys get along just fine? Coach?
Yeah, I was frozen up. I didn't hear anything.
There it is. And you guys get along just fine?
I really like him. I got along great. You know,
fantastic.
I'm ugly enough. He recognized me. He'd spot me and come over. Hey, Coach, what's going on? We'd shoot the breeze for a little bit. And I really liked him.
Well, him and Barkley do a great job, and he's funnier than heck. And then I heard he's very generous. I mean, what he does for charities and different people.
Absolutely. Role? He is the general manager of the Sacramento State basketball team. And we just spoke to our own general
that
manager.
means he's the NIL director for
Pretty
Sacramento
much.
State.
Yeah,
so he's not leaving TNT. He's not leaving that.
Well,
not for that.
No,
he'll get to do
he's going to
both.
finance that Sacramento.
Yeah, was he got a kid going there? What's the ties there? Come on, G-Man, you got to do your research here. Yeah, he did. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think that's
There's
volunteer
obviously-
time.
yeah.
He's just giving back.
Well, yes, and there have been a few. Brian Windhorst just did something similarly. Windy went from ESPN to the director of, or the general manager of his team.
Is it Crosby, the Eastern Michigan NIL guy, the defensive end?
Yeah, Max Crosby.
Max Crosby.
Thank you, Riley. Out back behind the glass.
He's running that. He's financing it and running Eastern Michigan's
Andrew
NIL.
Luck at Stanford.
We're speaking about Giants here with Shaquille O'Neal, who's doing his thing. I want to read you the scouting report of Anthony Belton, the Packers' second-round pick offensive tackle. He is a monster of a man. Now, I know from our conversation before the show that, Derek, you are a little gassed up about this guy. You think very highly of him.
I got fired up. As much as the crowd did up in Green Bay, because I heard the roar when they picked that kid from Texas, the wide receiver, which hadn't been done in over 2 decades, picking a first-round
That kid
receiver.
was not alive the last time the Packers drafted
right, exactly.
a wide receiver.
So that, the place went nuts when that happened. And inside, I actually happened to be with Mark Tauscher, and we talked about this guy, and let me tell you, in my opinion, believe that whether it's right or left tackle, he will end up starting at some point in the season, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he keeps the job.
Well, Zach Tom is real good on the right side, whereas the left side is relatively up for grabs.
That's
but
hard as a rookie. So I could see Tom moving over, or maybe, I could see a lot of different scenarios there.
You're not a fan of him?
I think that he's good. All of the things that I've heard is that he is a 4th-round pick. He's somebody who has a little bit of work to do yet, but much to Chris Ballard's point, the Colts general manager who just joined, he's the kind of guy who worked through the adversity, right? He joined a JUCO. He went to, he transferred to a larger school where he was able to fight and become better, but he never really took that step into a tactician, but he is 6'6", 336.
You're starting to drown a little bit. You're going to start going on hand placement and stuff. I didn't know we had Bill Callahan as our host
Zach
right here.
Tom is a technician, and he did it as a rookie. That's the only way he made it in the league.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying Zach Tom is, but I'm saying Anthony Belton has these knocks on his scouting report. So here are the weaknesses. Unable to gather and correct quickly. His second-level targets are able to elude his blocks. Inconsistent hand placement leads to slippage and shaky sustain. So when you hear these
everybody's
things,
the expert. I love this.
I'm not the expert.
Exactly, Coach.
Brilliant O-line coach wrote that.
But I heard this
evaluation.
It was a slappy scout. You know that.
But I've heard from
who hadn't been in a 3-point stance in his life.
Exactly.
I've got friends who are like soccer players that are commenting like that. It's obnoxious. Not, hey, I'm worried about his hand placement, his footwork.
Can he keep the guy away from the quarterback?
Yeah.
The guy's a man. He's a road grader, a man mountain, and a guy has that athletic ability, that strong. By the way, this isn't a big man that doesn't have strength. He has all of it.
And you know what? If he can't play tackle, he'll play guard, and he'll be a great guard for a long, long time. So you're not going to lose with this guy as long as he stays healthy. That'd be the only thing I'm concerned about.
Is health.
Worry about his hand placement.
Yeah, on somebody's neck.
Well, you didn't wait to hear the good things about him. He's got a wide frame that slows rushers in progress.
You know, I bet they
No
told
shit,
Eric.
he's 400 pounds.
Dump.
Lights are going off.
I wonder if
Take cover.
Eric Williams, a great right tackle for the Dallas Cowboys, perennial All-Pro, if he ever was told, I'm worried about his hand placement. Ask Michael Strahan where he got hit every single time we played the Cowboys, right in the face. I'm not worried about this guy because he's got a violent streak in him, too.
And
he's got
sudden.
an aggressive streak.
He gets off the ball. I mean, that's all he needs to do. Just get off the ball.
All right, well,
Trust
the Packers have a mountain of a man, and we've got one more segment left. This is the ESPN Madison Huddle with Barry Alvarez.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get house.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Hold your friends close and your rivals closer on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but I would love to see the Packers go 110% all in, make it to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, lose the Super Bowl. Either way, they made it to a Super Bowl. And then if they don't make the playoffs for the next 4 or 5 years, I'm happy. Do you believe in that, or do you want just this continued sustained success?
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance Team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild.
All right, we got about 2 minutes left here. The Badgers wrapped up spring ball. They're on to the regular season, right? The Miami of Ohio comes here in exactly 4 months. And to help get everyone ready and jazzed up for it, John Gruden came to Wisconsin not too long ago. This is the Huddle on ESPN Madison. I'm Alex Rivette alongside Barry Alvarez, Tarek Saleh, and Derek Engler. And John Gruden came out and said, everybody has dreams. I'm into nightmares. And he used that to spark a conversation about ending the dreams and being the nightmare of Miami of Ohio when they're here. Now, Coach Alvarez, you know John Gruden is what I understand. Is that correct?
I do.
And what do you think? What do you make of this? What do you make of wanting to absolutely annihilate, eviscerate that first team coming in with high hopes and maybe not as much skill?
Well, you know what? John Gruden's into that. He's into different motivational tools, and I wouldn't put a lot of. I'd have our guys ready for Miami of Ohio, but more for Ohio State. So I wouldn't put all my eggs in a basket.
Coach,
use a lot of my motivational tools for Miami of Ohio.
It's ironic you say that because right off air I was saying, yeah, well, this is as I'm watching social media the week before he came to Wisconsin. He's opening an Ohio State Buckeye, and he's doing his song and dance box of the swag bag and doing this and doing this. And then after he visited us, he's getting another swag box from Coach Fickle from Badgers. And the Badgers, he's yelling all these great Badgers out. You know, that you said it. That is John Gruden.
He's trying to figure out what city he's in.
Yeah. He's a cheerleader. You know, John's going around the country making friends.
Yes. For sure.
He does a great job presenting, though, and he puts on I heard that speech.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Well,
he loves football.
He loves football. Apparently, Tedro McMillan does not. The former Arizona, whatever it is they just did not land a good pick. The Carolina Panthers. To mention what we were talking about earlier, but this has been the Huddle on 100.5 with Barry Alvarez.
It was great to hear Coach's voice back on with us.
Great to hear your
Fun
voice,
stuff.
Coach.
Hey, always good to be with you guys. Love being here.
All right.
All right.
Coach.
That's all we have today. Take care. Be good.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging.